we're celebrating this time together. So I'm gonna start with this because you guys all know who I am, and I'm not gonna go into quite details because I'm gonna do this. I was this when you're famous. I already came out on stream, Isabella. I already came out on stream. So Hawk will be my interviewer, or the person that's interviewing me, because he can ask questions, personal questions that you guys don't even know about me, that he probably would like to say in chat, to get you guys to know. But I'm gonna tell my story first of all. As you guys heard from the video, but I'm gonna even start before that. I am a transgender streamer on Twitch. I am not afraid to say that. I am loving. Thanks, Hawk. You broke my concentration like I was just talking to you about. I am a transgender streamer on Twitch. I've been taking hormone replacement therapy for this is my 11th month. We're gonna be celebrating in August when we hit our 1 year. Slap shot instead. I have two brothers. I have an older brother that is 8 years older than I am, and a younger brother that is 14 months behind me. It was a really rough start. So, I never had the tendency to, do girly things. I never had the tendency of doing anything like that. But at the age of 4, I realized that I always associated myself with girls. I knew that something was definitely wrong. All my friends were girls. I always wanted to associate myself with girls. I always felt like I was, associated. Like I always I always felt like a girl. I don't know why. That's the way it happened. As I was going through, when I was going through elementary school, about 5th grade, I was doing a play. It was kind of like more of like a skit, and I remember going up on stage, and it was talking. It was basically a talent show, and there was little skits that were a part of it. And what was happening was that there was a skit before that was they did a dance to Shania Twain's "Man Like Feel Like a Woman," and I couldn't be in that. I felt like there was something wrong even then. I did a different thing, which was right after that. I dressed up as Elvis Presley, and I did Hound Dog. I was singing Hound Dog on stage in front of about 100 people, 100 to 200 people, in 5th grade. And after that, I really, 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 really broke down. My brother had a baseball game. My younger brother had a baseball game, and I was in the car crying the whole time because I was upset. I didn't want to go out in that uniform because I felt like I was not the person that I was. So that was about 10 and 11 years old. At 12 years old, my parents and I should say my family, my older brother, my younger brother, myself, and my parents, we went to Jamaica. We went on a plane trip to Jamaica. It was a week trip, and my mom had bikinis and stuff that she was wearing during the trip. And I remember just taking her bikinis, and I would wear them like around the like, because it was apartments. It wasn't really like it wasn't it was like condo. It was like beach condos. It was kind of weird. It was an interesting time because I would go back, early. I would go back at about 3 o'clock, and I would do it for about an hour, 2 hours, and it made me feel good. It made me feel really, really out there, and it felt me like I was myself. And ever since then, I started cross-dressing. About 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I was always cross-dressing. My mom always caught me with skirts and dresses, and she's like, "Why are you wearing my makeup?" and things like that. Um, but there was one time during puberty where I knew that basically that something was wrong too, because I was looking at like taking pictures and different things with my family. It was not a situation for me. I was always angry. I was always angry with my family. When I went out with family, I was always upset. I don't know why. I couldn't figure out why. I felt like I was rejecting myself. And then I was always upset. I was always picking fights with my brothers. I was always doing stuff with my brothers. It was just a bad time in my life. Um, then at 16, my mom came in and she said, "We need to get you some help. We need to get you some help. Something's wrong. Something is totally wrong, and we don't know what it is." So I went to a child psychologist at the age of 16, and I was having panic attacks, and I was having other things, and I felt like something deep inside with me was wrong. There was a time where my mom came into my bedroom, and she asked me, "Did I want to be a girl?" And I didn't know what that meant at the time. I didn't know what that meant at the time at all. And when I was realizing it, like when I was reflecting on it for a while, it became relevant that maybe I do want to be a girl. So my mom was always threatening me with the child psychologist about telling that I was cross dressing, stuff like that, and I was freaking out, and I didn't know what it was, and I thought time would pass and it would go over, and it would go over in a amazing way. Um, and it was really 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 it was really hard. And during this time too, between puberty, um during puberty, there was a time where I was shaving my legs. Like in high school, I was shaving my legs constantly. I was always putting on, like I said before, I was putting on makeup and things like that, and it felt like I was really, 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 really just distraught. I was really out of it. I felt like I was mixed place. I thought this was a phase. I really did think this was a phase. Um, and what happened after that was at the age of 18, my parents, actually, I would say at the age of 16, between 16 and 18, I figured out what the word transgender was. And it just hit me. It hit me. I felt like I was like, whoa, what is this? And I kept doing research and research and research. I went to college. During college, I had girlfriends that I associated myself with. I had girlfriends at the time. The longest relationship that I ever had was 6 months. And the reason why I always had 6 months as a relationship was this, because I felt that no girl was ever going to give me a good relationship. Like I felt like no girl whatsoever. One of my closest friends, her name is Kim, was one of the first the people that I told. She was an ex girlfriend of mine. She was an ex girlfriend of mine for a month, and I broke up with her, and she was crying. She was like, "Why did you break up with me?" I said, "Hun, there's something going. There's something totally wrong. I need to figure out what I need to do in my life to make it better." And she said, "I understand. Do what needs to be done." And I had to cut off all communications. I had to cut off everything with her because she was kind of like she was trying to snoop up on me. She was trying to do other things with me. She was trying to get back in my life. And I said when I broke up with her, I said there was no reason why I had to break up. So so during that time, I broke up with her, and I stopped talking to her for a year. And we became friends again. And eventually I told her. But at the age of 22, or actually I should say at the I'd say about 21. 21, I had another girlfriend that I had for 6 months, and I broke up with her, and I was done. I was done. There was time for me to move on from my life. And at the age of 22, there was a point that I said, enough is enough. I need to tell my mom and my dad. So on March, it was on March. I think it was sometime in March. I think it was middle March, sometime like that. Middle March was the time for me where I felt that I was able to be myself. So I was going to a concert. I was going to a Shinedown concert, which is my favorite band. And I typed up a note to my mom. It was a 3-page letter note. That I was just like, this is who I am. This is who I need to be. And at the time, we were moving from the word transsexual to the word transgender. That's why I brought it up earlier. I told my parents that I was transsexual. Like, I did not feel like I was a boy at all, and I never felt like I was a boy. So at the time, my mom sent me a text before when I was at the concert because I thought that I was able to just, disconnect. That was just a time that I was able to disconnect. I said enough was enough. I was done. So I walked away. I walked away completely, and I said to myself that that it was done. It was done. And I went to the concert, and I actually got a text from my mom that said, "I love you. We're gonna get this fixed." But it didn't get fixed. It got worse. At the time, I was going through finishing college, and I was finishing different things. And what happened was that I went to a psychologist in April. I came out in March. I went to a psychologist in April, and I started seeing psychologists. I saw the psychologist for roughly for 5 years. Did not help me. It was more of like I was sitting there wasting my life away. It was a terrible instance where I was thrown away. I felt like I didn't care for it. He didn't care for me. He didn't. He said that I was his first transgender patient, and he had experience with transgender patients and gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria, and he was able to help me in so many different ways to try to find out what I was a part of. I had to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist already, after like 3 or 4 times, he said that you have gender dysphoria. He said I had gender dysphoria. And the other one said that he told me I had manic depression. And I was angry because of depression, which makes no sense, because if I was to think of depression and anxiety and different things in there, that I was not able to be who I needed to be. So most of the time with gender dysphoria, so you guys know, is gender dysphoria is basically depression. And there's different things that are out there that allow you to that you become angry and you become upset and you become distant. And during these 5 years after I told my mom and my dad, I never told my brothers. I never told my older brother or my younger brother because I thought they were going to reject. And the crazy thing is with this, it gets more crazy. Oh, of course, I totally agree. What happened after this was this, and I'm gonna keep going with this. And then you guys can ask me questions, because this is a kind of, like I said, this is a really lengthy story. I'm not gonna lie. And there's Tessie barking in the background. And going from this, that during these 5 years, I got worse and worse and worse. Depression just fizzled. And it was killing my insides. It was literally killing my insides. And I was literally crying, because as a lot of the transgender ladies have said in general, that I was that they were suicidal. Now, during this time, during puberty, I have had malicious attempts of suicide. Suicide attempts, suicide, like twice I was very, very close. I was not able to be myself. I was not able to do any of this stuff whatsoever. It was just that bad. It was literally that bad. I got down to the so low that I had to figure out a new means of being myself. I thought that I found out that streaming was a thing. And 3 years ago, in March, I when Destiny came out, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna give this a shot." And it kept going up and up and up. Um, and what happened was after that was after a year is when I came out, roughly. I said on June 30th of 2016, I came out to the world of being transgender. But that didn't stop there. That didn't stop there. In the next year or so, I even isolated myself even more. I isolated myself even more. I isolated myself from my family. I isolated myself from my mom and my dad. I also isolated myself from so many other people. It was so bad, whatsoever. I felt like it was the nastiest thing in the world. And please, Aquarius, wait for the comments to the end, okay? Please. I appreciate you putting stuff in, but we don't need to hear your comments until the end, okay? Because it's being really distracting. And that goes for everybody if possible, okay? And what was happening was this, going from this, in the next year, it just got worse and worse and worse. And after that time, with it getting worse and worse, I felt like I was disconnected. I felt like I was disconnected. I felt like I was not the girl, like the girl that I am now. And there was a point that I was at work and I was starting to fall apart. I was starting to fall apart. So, in July of 2017, I decided to take life into my own hands, and instead of trying to kill myself, I found another means of getting on hormones. I figured out that I needed to get on hormones regardless of what it was because I wanted my life to turn around. So I basically started HRT in August of 14th is the day that I started HRT. I made an appointment in July, and basically was going to start hormones in August. But that came with a cost, as you guys know. I had to tell my boss. I had to tell my boss at the time, and I had to tell my other two bosses. So I had to tell three bosses that I wanted a transfer out of work so that I could start my life somewhere else. I did not want to be at home whatsoever. I felt like I was isolating myself even further. Because at the time I didn't know how my brothers were gonna accept me. I didn't even know how anything was gonna change. So from that point on, what happened was that I told my bosses. I told my boss. She was very acceptant. She was very acceptant. Then I told my other two bosses, which one of them was very acceptant. One of them I figured out was a nasty asshole. In the end, but at the time he was acceptant. And I had told my boss that I worked with that I do stream on Twitch. He knows my username. He knows everything. I don't care what they say. Sorry. I'm sorry. If you find my channel, I'm sorry. And the thing was that I was like, okay, I'm gonna be happier. In the first 2 months of hormone replacement therapy, I was a lot happier. I was a lot happier. It was a lot more cheerful. I was like, my life is turning around. Like I feel it. It's going to turn around. course, it did not turn around. It got worse, worse, and worse, and worse, and worse. I was very reliant on Twitch at the time. Twitch was the only place for me to be. And that's when I found my ex-boyfriend, Ian. Ian came into my life in October. And we were talking about, you know, a relationship, and we had a relationship until January, and I cut it off. I felt like it was not the situation for me to do. It was not the situation to be in. I felt like we were very hostile against each other, and it was me breaking it off because I wanted us to be happier. And luckily, he is very happy now. You guys see that he's in chat. He's having a kid with a lovely wife coming up, and I'm very happy for him. But in January, everything just started to change. I got invited to a stream team that I really wanted to be a part of, which is Sarah Daniels' stream team. I have been a part of so many things that have been happening around this platform. So on January 1st of 2018, I said, this year is going to be the best year that I could ever tell. I can already tell it's going. So I got invited to the stream team. Everybody has been supporting me constantly and over the top. There has been a lot of people that are in my life that I have lost because of this. But I know in my own heart that it's been better. And you guys know the story from here. If you don't know. And one of the things was that in March, that are actually, I should say, what Hawk, and it was in January. It was in January when I got harassed again. Hawk. Yeah, I think January is when I got. Was it January when I was starting to get harassed a little bit?
It was around that time, yeah.
Yeah, because I had somebody in. It was Christmas Day. Christmas Day, I had a person that's a partner streamer right now that had their mods, right? Their mods were harassing me. They came into stream and they said, "You're a fucking tranny, go kill yourself." And I thought it was done. I thought it was done in February. Like, to be honest, I thought I was done in February. I was going on a cruise in March. I thought I was going to be done in general. I thought that streams were not going to be, that streams were going to be done. Tether was around at the time, and I messaged Tether, and I was like, I cannot believe that I'm still going. And I was getting close to my 3-year anniversary for streaming, because I started in 2015. And I got to the point where I said, Tether, I'm gonna give it until March. And Tether, you can chime in if you want on that. I was gonna give it till the end of March, and then I was gonna stop. But as work cut my hours, I was like, there's nothing for me to do. I love streaming. I love what I'm doing. And then it all started taking off in April. I started streaming twice a day. On the first week of April, most of the people told me to go and reach out to Twitch to get featured on their affiliate birthday program, and I got featured, which was awesome. And then after that, you guys know what happened. I got featured in the Pride video. I got featured on the front page again. I have had a lot of people that have recently just came out and just have supported me through thick and thin. It's literally been a change of my life, because in May, after we got off the front page the first time, it was the time that I got my name change letter. I got my first name change letter, and I was so ecstatic. I was so ecstatic when I got that, because I felt that for me in general, that the name change letter was a signal of me to just keep going. It was just a signal for me to just keep going and to keep pushing and keep striving to do great things. And that's when I had to come up to my brother. And I told my brother this. I told my brother that, you know, I gave him a letter. I gave him a letter, which we're gonna post on Facebook after this. After we talk about us, and you guys will get to see that personally, and you guys will get to see everything that will happen with that. Um, that um, that he was acceptant. I thought in my whole life that my brothers would not be acceptant because my younger brother always talked about about LGBT. He was always talking smack about gay people. He was always talking smack about just people in general. And my older brother had a family. He had a family. And he did not understand what was going on in general. I felt like it was just not going to happen at all. And it got to the point where I felt like, you know, after I told him, it was another weight off my shoulders. Like it felt like I was the happiest girl alive because every person from the time that I came out, I didn't start you guys didn't start calling me Jessica until roughly I would say until on January 2017 when I officially said to start calling me her pronouns and started calling me Jess. And the crazy thing from that was that that we were able to do a lot of things. I was a lot happier after I told my brother. And I asked my brother when I told him, I said, how did you know? How did you know like I was transgender at all? And he says, I saw the feminine products in the bathroom. You were shaving your legs, you were shaving your arms, you were shaving your armpits, you were shaving everything. You were and we saw your Twitch. I said, holy shit, you saw my Twitch. And he told me the whole backstory about like how he came across my Twitch. And I thought that was crazy because I thought that wasn't gonna ever happen. I thought that was never gonna happen that my brother was gonna come on my Twitch and see the Pride video and see everything that I've been doing and seeing everything. So it made me feel good that we had a half an hour talk, and it was a great talk to go out and to do things because I said if I don't tell my brothers now, like I said, if I don't tell my brothers now, how am I going to associate myself with my family? Like I can't be home living myself as a lie for my brother because it's going to put me in a hole even farther. So I told my younger brother, and we went out to dinner one night, and we had a conversation about what does it mean to be transgender. What do you want us to do about it? How can we help you? Because my dad, if you guys don't know, my dad suffers from sarcoma. Sarcoma is cancer that is on the sciatic nerve. What? Oh, I don't know what that was. I thought somebody was knocking on the door. Somebody was what was I saying? Sciatic nerve, and it was really really tough. It was really one of those experiences where I couldn't feel like myself. I felt like I was breaking down in general. And with him breaking down and me breaking down and everything breaking down, it was a rough time. It was a rough time. I felt like I was not able to control myself at all. And to hear what my brother told me about being acceptant. And then the night before I told my brother, or the night that I told my brother, I was talking to Hawk, right, Hawk? I was talking to you the other like that night, and I said, "Holy shit!" About when my older brother figured out my Instagram, right?
You were amazed by it.
I was amazed. My other brother was snooping on my Instagram.
You were literally.
I was seriously. I was like, holy shit, Hawk, help! What am I supposed to do? Help! And I was like, oh my god, what is going on? What is going on with my life in general? And it took that whole mindset of going into just like that. And I felt like it was a great opportunity for me to just be myself. So eventually, I said after I told my brother, I gave it a week or two, and I told my brother, my older brother, I said, I need to go out to lunch with you. And I sat down with lunch, and that was the first person I told, not in a not in a text or not in a phone call or nothing like that. And I was able to talk to him as a person. And he's like, I sat down with him, and there's something that I need to talk to you about. And he's like, what is it? And I'm like, there's always been something that's been up with me, like that I felt like that was something wrong. In the way that, you know, I look at things. And I told him that I felt um disconnected. I felt like I was not able to be a part of the family. I felt like all I wanted to be was accepted. And I told him, well, I said, I know you saw my Instagram, right? I saw that you were snooping on my Instagram story. And he basically said to me, he said to me, yes, I saw it. And he's like, what was it about? And I was like, do you know I'm transgender? And he said, no, I know I have no idea, but I knew something was going on. I could tell your body was changing. That. And he was asking me about, like, what is being transgender? What is it? What are you doing? And I explained to him the whole process behind it. And it was really heartwarming because both of my brothers accepted me. That's all I needed was somebody, because my parents never accepted me in the 5 years that I have told them. And it was bad. It was bad. Um but that was in May. That was in May. I was very, very happy. I was very, very happy that I was able to just be myself. And I said, for now, I told my older brother, like, I said, because he had a 3-year-old daughter. He has a 3-year-old daughter, turning 4. She's turning 4 this year. She turns 4 on November 5th. My birthday is November 15th. So we have kind of a mutual birthday. We go out and we celebrate both of our birthdays at the same time. And I asked my brother that day. I said to him, I said, "What are you gonna tell you? What are you gonna tell your young one?" And she says to me, or he says to me, "We already been looking into that stuff." I was very, 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 very happy that he was looking into that stuff already. Um, and I felt like there was nothing that that it was going to be part of it. Like, I thought I wasn't going to be a part of it, of their life, and that changed dramatically. Um, and I felt like it was crazy because after that point, I told my brother, I said the next time I went out, I went out with Jessica, and it has never went back. I have never went back. Because I felt like it was just a great feeling for me to be Jessica, and I felt like it relieved every single piece of tension that I have. Like, I have never, I used to have sleeping problems. I have not ever felt like I associated myself with my brothers. I never associated myself with anything. And my life turned around. My life turned around just this last 2 months. No joke. My life has totally turned around completely. If you guys did not see, and I'm gonna show you guys really quickly. In the past month, I have gone dress shopping. My sister-in-law, my future sister-in-law, asked me to be a bridesmaid for her wedding. My sister-in-law has taken me out shopping for girl clothes. My sister-in-law has taken me to the beach as a girl. And every single picture that you see from that point that I told my brother and being out with my brother puts a smile on your face because of just allowing to be yourself. And I'm going to show these pictures really quick so you guys can see because it's really, 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 it's inspirational. It really is. To see just the things like you can see it on my face that it has changed tremendous in different ways. So I'm sorry that you guys see this, but give me 1 second while I do this. That's the dress that I'm gonna be wearing at for my as a bridesmaid. I just don't know where to. So that gives you a whole idea of how my life turned around in so many different ways. And this is what I have to say. I have had countless people come into stream, harassed me, harassed me for the person that I am. I might not be beautiful in your eyes, but there's hundreds of people that support me for who I am. That's still not gonna ever bring me down. I have every single person here. I have various streamers, partnered, affiliate, and lower class streamers that appreciate what I do. And I cannot thank every single person that has helped me get to this point. Because to be quite honest, I felt that I feel like I'm the luckiest girl alive. I really do. And then I showed you guys tonight that we're 60% of the way to partnership. We're 60% of the way there to partnership. We need to keep this train rolling. Big time. This is not for me, this is for you. So I want you guys to know that there's so many things that we have on this train to be a part of. So I'm gonna open up to questions or anything that you guys want to ask me in my life. I don't mind what it is. But that's pretty much my story.